morning, everybody. Welcome to Smorgasbord. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
All right. Well, today, Board Game Smorgasbord is sponsored by Bezier Games, and they are giving out a copy of Cat in a Box.
It's going good. Just carry on.
Okay. It's time to drink Dr. Pepper for breakfast. Cat in a Box, the trick-taking game, nominated for a couple Dice Tower awards, and the game has no color in it, except until you add it. It's like that Disney video game where they fought the guy and they had to add color. I don't know.
Encanto.
No, not Encanto.
I've never seen Encanto.
You should.
Isn't it like a bunch of... It's like a Spanish setting, right? Mexican or something of that nature?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they go to the... Is that the one where they go to like the underworld or dead people are in it or whatever?
No, that's... Oh,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah, that's Encanto.
Oh, they've done two of those then, because they also did the one.
That is Encanto, isn't it? No?
Oh, there's another one?
Coco.
Coco, that's it. With the...
Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Now I'm all
The
confused.
same?
Basically, when you think of Mexican or Hollywood, when they think of Mexican, they think of like Day of the Dead. That's about
Right,
it.
yeah. Is it a sequel? Encanto?
No, they're not related. Anyway, Cat in the Box, though. Nothing dead in it. Or is there? That's the thing. You don't know if the cat is dead.
You can enter this contest by emailing us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word Adam.
Ooh.
Trying to
Oh.
figure out why.
Because a cat is made of atoms, whether it's alive or dead.
That's
But
true.
then why is it one? Why is it an Adam, not Adams?
Anyway, in the body, we need your name and address, and we need to know what's the name of the board where you place tokens as you play cards. I didn't even know this board had a name. So I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Everything has a name, Tom.
It does not. My computer does not have a name.
You didn't name your computer?
I did not.
How
It
about
does
that hat?
actually.
This
If
hat
you
does have a name.
airdrop to it, it's Tom's MacBook Pro.
This
It is
hat's name
named.
is George.
George the Bright Yellow Hat. That's a great kid series in the making right there, yeah. I just realized you're very bright. The hat and the shirt are very bright today.
Thank you.
that's like a
I've been getting
highlighter.
compliments all over the place. All right,
That wasn't
so
a compliment.
yeah, that's
Don't
what I
put
was
words
saying.
in my mouth.
Oh.
Anyhow, enter this contest thanks to Bezier Games. Alrighty, today we have a top 10 coming up to you that was pre-recorded, but we're premiering it live with Mike DeLisio, me and Z, with our top 10 expansions, which we recorded so long ago. I don't even remember what we said.
It's probably wrong.
What's a premiere so you can watch it?
Yeah, I
Find
will
out.
be in there being like, what is the Z guy talking about? Definitely wrong picks. You'll see. I'll be in there.
Anyway, we're going to get started with Smorgasbord here. Let's start with the news.
That comes out like highlighter.
The hat is made from recycled highlighters, I'm fairly certain.
All right, at first, the biggest news of the week, of course, being the nominations of the nominations of the biggest award in the world, the Spiel des Yards. The Kennerspiel des Yards and the Kinderspiel des Yards. We're going to briefly show you the nominees for each one, and then we're going to talk more about this in detail later on in Smorgasbord. So for the Kinderspiel, Gigaman, Carla Carmel, and the kids' version of Mysterium were all nominated. For the Kennerspiel, this is the advanced gamer one.
Yep.
We have Challengers, Iki, and Planet Unknown, which will probably pop up on the screen at some point. And then, Roy, we're going to go to the next slide. There we go. And then the Spiel des Yards, which is like a family game of the year, the big award. The three nominees are Dwarf Romantic, Next Station London, and Fun Facts. Which someone pointed out that the cover of Fun Facts looks like it's giving you a rude gesture. But anyhow, so any...
I guess I don't see it, but okay.
I don't even
That's a
see-
stretch, man.
I say I don't even see that one. And I'm usually
Neither do I. Anyway, all of these will be announced later on this year in July. And one of the things that they're doing differently this time is they are announcing them all at the same time.
Because previously a Kinderspiel would be announced first
Yeah.
on its own, in
They'd
its
be
own
like,
ceremony.
okay,
Kids, we're
got
done
it.
with them. Okay, now on to the
Now
adults.
onto the serious ones. Yeah, they're doing them all together, which I think is a good move. I'd never really understood why they did them separately. It does seem to devalue the Kinderspiel, so I'm glad doing them all together.
They're also giving a special award to the Unlock series, both the Kids Unlock and the regular Unlock series. So that's cool.
All right, that's nice. I like that.
All right, in not great news, Grimm Games has gone into insolvency. They are out of business, so if you are hoping to get some of their latest Kickstarters, it is not happening. They're probably best known for Village Attacks, the Ever Rain, and Endure the Stars. I don't know which. I know Village Attacks got delivered. I guess the other two did not, but we're seeing a little bit more of this happening.
Wow.
Although realize this is still 1 in 100 companies that are defaulting on Kickstarters, so it's not everybody doing this. It just seems like a lot since it's happening with several companies right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
From the rich world of not D&D, Thunderworks Games, comes a new game called Stone Spine Architects, although I really do love that cover. I like Minotaurs a lot. And
Wow, that one back there is like a beefcake. That's like a romance novel cover.
Is it? Oh, you're right.
Wow,
It
dude,
is,
look at
very
him.
much
He's
so.
like a farmer who's troubled by his past life.
he stared at him longingly, watching his muscles ripple as they lifted.
He asked her, "Moo." It's just weird. It really does look very romance novel, that one guy. Like,
Okay.
It does, yeah.
Well, anyhow.
They keep coming out with these games, though. Thunderworks.
Well, the designer of this is the guy who did Cartographers.
Okay. Yeah, they have a lot of
Okay.
games in this series, is what I'm saying. Role Player has spawned off a lot of games.
It is a card drafting game where you're trying to create the most dangerous catacombs one chamber at a time. After 4 years, which I'm assuming is not the length of the game,
Okay.
whoever has the most perilous pit gets the title of Master Architect. They like to hand out awards in this universe. Like the one you're in jail, and they're like, you're the best jail gang, and you're the best architect.
You're not the winner. You are something, a title.
Okay, I like that.
All right, Friedman Freeze has a new game coming out called Freaky Frogs from Outer Space. From Outer
Out of
Space.
space.
Out of space.
That's like Out of Time from Back to the Future.
I'm guessing this is in their small line of games, that line that you don't need to learn, that you just like start playing. Sure looks like that, doesn't it? That Fear and Fruit Loops or something. I don't know the other ones.
Yeah, it has that same size.
Yeah, it's
obviously.
that
It
tiny
looks-
size, right?
But a
So
large picture, so it'll show up on a small box. Yeah.
This coming out of Essen, this is a solo game that is basically a pinball simulator. Somewhere Jeff Engelstein is shaking his fist. But this one is
Interesting.
not a roll and write. It is a solo card-driven pinball simulator, whatever that means.
okay.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
probably a
interesting.
little more like Finished, which is a solo card game from Friedman Freeze. Card sorting in that game, but
Friedman Freeze also announced an expansion, the very, very hotly demanded expansion for FAM. I didn't know people played FAM anymore. I saw someone playing it at a convention recently, so I guess there's that. It's a fine game, I suppose. This is not one of his hits, I would imagine.
isn't it like
I
of
thought
his
it-
recent games?
I thought it was. I thought it was one of his more popular ones that I've heard of and seen playing and talked about.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of hits from Friedman Freeze, I still think Power Grid, but there must be hits in the many, many games he's made. And by hits, I mean warranting expansions. I think this was one of the ones that seemed to get a lot of buzz. I never did play this one, but I'm guessing it sold enough to warrant this.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Tom is not convinced.
I am not. All right. Now we have, from a different company here, Spectral.
Oh,
Yeah, doesn't that cover look great?
that looks so good.
We talked about this cover recently. Do you remember when?
I don't remember seeing this cover.
Oh, I really like it.
Wow, I
Anyway,
like
this
that.
is a two-player deduction game from very, very hot current designer Ryan Courtney. I mean, he's just all over the place now,
What
making
is
games.
Ryan Courtney made? I
He
don't
made
know that.
Pipeline, and then
Yeah.
one of the companies signed him to do a line of games just by him.
Well, isn't that Bitewing? It must be Bitewing because they're the ones who put out that Parks one, the one where you're putting the loops out.
The Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, yeah.
I don't know if it's them or not. I forget what company signed a line with him.
Okay.
Maybe this is it. But either way, it's a cool cover.
Yes.
It's what did I say? It was a 2-player deduction game, I think.
Yep.
I like that. You're trying to figure out what will end up where at the stroke of 12.
So it's laying pipes, probably.
It's going to Kickstarter, though, or crowdfunding. So you'll see it next year.
So it's competitive? It's like 2-player deduction.
I think so.
So you're playing one. Okay. Got it.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's competitive treasure hunting.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Speaking of looking at things closely, Focus! This is from I love the name of this company, Old Chap Games. I don't believe I've seen anything from them before, have you?
They must be new, I assume. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't.
This is a cooperative deduction game.
Okay.
You have a grid of picture cards between you. One of the pictures is yours, one is your opponent's. You have to figure out who has which.
A game of association of ideas for 2 players.
This one kind of reminded me of a mix between Similo and Codenames.
Yes.
It was
I like the
those
idea
two
of that.
together.
Code names.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're removing one of the pictures to give your opponent a hint about your secret card. But if
Okay.
you remove your opponent's card, you both lose. I don't know how you do the first card, though.
I don't know, like, what hints. Are they verbal hints? I mean,
interesting.
that's what I couldn't figure out from the description I had. Is it a verbal hint you're giving?
No, so I'm assuming just from reading that, like if I have a red umbrella and there might be a cloud, I'll remove the cloud because clouds rain, and that kind of works with umbrella.
Got it. Okay.
The thing is, I don't know how on the very first turn, before Z even goes, if I'm playing with Z, my very first card might be his because I have no information. Starting with card 2.
But we also don't know how many are out there. I mean, that's, oh, dang it, that happened. Okay, reset, do it again.
That's true.
You know
Maybe
what I
that's what
mean?
it is. Like,
it's-
oh, okay, we just reset.
Right.
It is a 15-minute game.
Yeah, this looks cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
War of the Ring, the card game, is getting an expansion. It got very positive buzz from last year. And it was nominated also for a Dice Tower Best 2-Player Game, even though you can play it up to 4. It's Against the Shadow. This offers solo and cooperative play, this expansion.
Which is brand new, right? This was a competitive game.
Yes. I don't... Oh, basically, they're adding... So from reading this, they're basically adding a solo version. And then they're saying it's co-op by saying you and me can both play against the AI they built.
Okay.
But
It's
you're
the
still
same-
just running one. Oh, okay.
It sounds
got
almost like the same game. They're
I don't
adding
know
an
if I trust.
AI.
I don't
So
know
it's
if I
kinda
trust AI. I
So
gotta
kinda
tell
like-
you. Very worried about
Oh,
AI
against the
right now.
AI. Interesting.
AI, art, AI. I tell you what, though, I think this is not going to appeal to everybody because this is changing the game, right? If you like the competitive nature of
Yeah.
this, you may not want to play it cooperatively.
Absolutely. It's a big, big change.
It's huge.
And I'm scared of AI.
Yeah, you said that twice and no one laughed. All right, Glom. This is a game we just recently
That was really
played.
mean.
That was
Yeah, whatever.
really
I'm used to
hurtful.
it. He's in a mood.
That was,
Let's do it. Glom. We've played this.
I wouldn't even say
We
that.
did. Anyway, yeah, well, the news is we're faster than the news.
We are. This was a riot.
Anyway, you're rewriting phrases in this game following rules. You can see the playthrough of it and see how that works. Full review next week. Probably Dice Tower Award worthy. All right. Good Omens, which is based on a book, and now it is an Amazon series starring Doctor Who and this other guy.
I don't want to brag, but I've seen it.
Have you?
I have. I
Did you
know.
like it?
I did.
Did you like the twist ending?
I don't know if I saw the last episode.
All
I
right.
didn't say I saw the whole thing. I just said I saw it. I saw like some of it. I don't know, 7, 8 episodes, 6.
Yeah, so it's about an angel and a demon working together to stop an apocalypse. And so this is a cooperative thing, again, for players, and it's coming from Renegade. I'm a little worried about this because it smells like a game made to sell off the name of the game.
Right, very much so.
Who is the game designed by? Did they say that?
It's like you see on the box.
I can't see it on there. No. Well, I hope it's good. I'm curious, like, how strong this theme is to board gamers, but hey, who knows? Renegade publishes lots of themed games nowadays.
I don't know how popular this is. Maybe very.
I feel like it was really popular there when it came out.
Well, second season is coming out, like, now or in June.
Oh, wow.
It's
So that's
like the
really
second
good timing.
Season. Yeah.
Do we have a date of release for this? Is it Kickstarter or is it retail?
No, retail, June 7th. They must have timed that with the show then.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think Renegade does a lot of
yeah.
Kickstarters, do they?
Yeah.
They do the Kickstarters for those Power Ranger
Oh, yeah,
things.
like deck building stuff.
All right, hey, that's my fish, which we talked a couple weeks ago about on Board Game Breakfast. This is a game that's been published by more publishers than I can think of almost. There's so many different versions of this out there. This is the newest one from Next Move. And I think we're just supposed to call it Fish now because all their games have 4. Well, except for Yak had 3. Maybe they gave up on that. Have you played Hey, That's My Fish?
Yes, is that the one like where you're going and you can go as far as you want or something, and then you pick up something in the middle?
You take off the tile you were on.
Yeah. Yes,
And you're trying to break up the ice flow. Really simple game, pretty mean little game, but a lot of people really like it. And Next Move makes really nice productions, so I'm sure this will be good.
Yeah. I'm assuming it'll be a nice take on this.
Oh, someone said Matt Hyra's the designer of the Good Omens
the
game.
Good Omens.
That makes sense. He works a lot with Renegade.
Yeah, he does all the DC Deck Builder kind of the type
Got
games.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, our next game is called House of Fado, although when I first saw it, I thought it was called House of Fad because that O is hidden in the yellow.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Maybe they can fix that before they print it. That O should be much
Also,
whiter.
yeah, because that little tendril as well is not at the end of the word. Then it's on the D.
Yeah.
Like it starts the F and ends the D. So yeah, that's terrible.
Well, anyway, this is from Fattel Lacerda and Eagle Griffin, but I think it is a smaller game than
Yes.
many of the other games are. It's using the KO system from the Galleries. I don't even remember.
Yeah, so it's like it's a kind of how they took Kanban EV and made Bot Factory. This is the Gallerist, a smaller, more streamlined, not more streamlined, but a smaller version of it.
That seems to be the new thing they're doing over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, people like them. I don't know how well Bot Factory's doing. I know that Mercado de Lisboa did not do particularly well because it was a terrible game.
Right, and that's the thing. I feel like that one was really bad, but Bot Factory was really good. And so I feel like we're looking at kind of two extremes at this point, so it'll be interesting to see where this one falls.
All right, this was news to me when I found out about this, although not really surprised, but Ticket to Ride Berlin. It seems like Days of Wonder is really enjoying the smaller Ticket to Ride series over the big one. They're working well. Oh, that guy in a beanie, he's reminding me of somebody. I'm trying to figure out who he looks like. I don't know. Anyhow, this is another small 15-minute Ticket to Ride. Let's see here. This is downtown Berlin, and there's some sort of twist on the rules, although the twists on these games are always incredibly minor, small twists. I've actually not as interested in this one, if only because they're starting. I like the game. How many of these do I need to play? They're not. I don't think the twists are big enough for me to keep coming back.
Are you saying the twists are not big enough on the smaller ones? Because like the bigger ones, the twists are pretty significant, right?
Yes. So what I
it's
mean
the
is,
smaller ones specifically.
I would play Ticket to Ride Berlin happily, but I would also play Ticket to Ride Amsterdam or whatever. They're
Yeah.
all similar.
Got it. Okay.
All right, Mike put these in the news here. We got some Oink stuff. Oink. This is from Bruno Faduti and Jun Sasaki.
Whale to Look? Is that what that's called?
Yes, Whale to Look.
What's that even mean?
Whale.
Whale watching?
I don't know. I'm still annoyed we didn't go whale watching. I blame the airlines.
Yeah.
You were going to go whale watching?
We went to Iceland
Oh, in Iceland.
twice. The first time we thought about it and didn't do it. Then the second time we were like, we're going to do it. And then
I
our
didn't
plane
know
was
y'all-
delayed by a day.
Wow, I didn't know y'all went twice. I thought it was just that one time. That's cool.
I want to go back. I like Iceland. Anyhow, it doesn't, you're just, I don't know, it looks cute, interesting. You have to move around and then hope the whales show up.
That looks like crap.
Yeah, some of you are
But
really
what about this? What about this next one? 9 Tiles Extreme. This one I think doesn't look very interesting at all.
9 Tiles already was a game from them, I believe.
Yes, and apparently 9 Tiles has sold over 200,000 copies.
Wow.
So why would you not make more?
Yep.
You're flipping stuff back and forth, and once you match a pattern, you slap the card. Ooh, you'll love this.
Oh.
Go back to that whale to look one.
All right, go back to the whale to look.
Let's look at the whales. That looks pretty good.
Those little guys are super cute, though.
I like this one.
All right, and the game I'm excited about, and I know Z is also,
Okay.
and probably Mike, House of Cats,
Why am I excited about this?
because this is a Porta.
Oh,
You like everything a Porta does, practically.
practically.
And also, I like this combination of designers. So Christian Osby has done a lot of games for Porta. And William Addy is best known for Kalis. He also did a little game,
Spirium?
yeah,
That it
Spirium.
is?
What is this game, though?
This game is a, roll and write. Okay, well, I'm less excited now, but Z's probably more. You like their roll and writes a lot. There's some of them are your favorites.
Yeah.
What's in the background? Is it like floor plans? Are you like building a house?
Okay, so you are forming different size rooms using values on the rolled dice. Value 2 lets you make a 2 squared room, a value 4 a 4 square room. And then you use room special abilities to score points. Once you've filled your house, the game ends.
Okay.
Sounds pretty standard.
It does. My excitement has super waned over the course of this minute. All right. Rauha. This is coming from the same designers who made Nidavellir. So I'm very interested in that.
I like that.
Yeah, it looks like a neat cover. You are a venerable shaman. One of 5 worlds has been entrusted to you. You are shaping the environment to turn this world into a cradle of life energy, blah, 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 blah. But what you're actually doing is drafting cards and placing scenes on your 3x3 board, making flora and fauna spring up after 6 rounds. We go to age 2, build civilizations on top of these landscapes, and then travel around the world. This is very weird. It sounds like 3 different parts. I want to... Nidavellir is... I'm in just on that. The same designers. Also good art. Who's the publisher?
Really good.
I don't see the publisher on here anywhere. Probably Studio H. All right. Paper App Dungeon. This is coming from Lucky Duck. This is a pocket-sized dungeon crawler where you play 60-page notebooks with unique adventures.
Okay.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out...
Are these, so is this a 60-page one? Like there's multiple of
Yes,
them? And this is one?
No,
Okay.
this is a 60-page notebook. Each page is different.
So you don't play all 60 pages in one?
No, you do it one at a time. You're like going through a dungeon. You just keep playing through it. Like, I think it's going to be
Okay,
like
you said notebooks, so I wasn't sure. Like, are there multiple packs of these? And like you get, I have this 60-pack notebook. I have this 60-page notebook.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm assuming this is Lucky Duck leveraging their very well done work with apps and using that to make a smaller game, app enhanced, to go through a little dungeon, right? That's
It doesn't
probably what
say
it is.
app enhanced on there.
It's called Paper App.
No, I agree. I'll have to wait and get more info on that one.
And if it wasn't Lucky Duck, I would make that assumption actually, but
But that is, yeah, because they do, like you said, such good apps. They're kind of known for that.
All right, this next one I'm kind of pumped about. Catan scenario for Starfarers New Encounters. So this is like they've made a lot. Probably, I'm not exaggerating, 100 scenarios for Catan. There's a ton out there. This is the first time they've ever done anything for Starfarers, which I always thought needed a little bit more stuff in it. So that's 3 new scenarios with new unique rules. You'll explore the amoebas, defeat the pirate Hog Com, and find long-lost people. So I guess there's giant amoebas, there's more pirate stuff, there's a lot of stuff. This is not a cheap expansion. This is a $60 expansion.
whoa.
Whoa.
It does have a lot of pieces in it, but it does seem pricey.
Jeez.
Wow.
Is this in print? I mean, Starfarers?
They just reprinted it last year, so
Okay.
Got it.
or 2 years ago, something
Got it.
pretty close. All right, big news here. Metal Gear Solid has been announced by CMON. Now, we knew this IDW had this game originally. Emerson Matsuuchi was the designer, and I know that when IDW announced its insolvency, every company on Earth ran to Emerson asking for this game. Because it's a good license, and everyone knows Emerson's a good designer.
What's the license?
Metal Gear Solid. It's a video game thing again.
Thank you. I didn't know it was video or comics.
But this is one of the.
Roy, get your judgy eyes off me.
This is a pretty old franchise. Like, it's been out since Super Nintendo, maybe even Nintendo.
Yeah, it's old. It's from the 90s, I guess, I think.
Yeah, so this, but what's interesting about this one from CMON is that it is not going to Kickstarter. It's going straight to retail, sort of. Pre-orders are opening up next month, and then it comes out next year.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Kickstarter, but CMON's doing it themselves. So you can pre-order. It's like a Stonemaier.
If you pre-order, is there going to be the extras and stuff?
I don't know anything about that. They haven't announced it.
Got it.
Looks
that
cool,
piece
though.
of artwork in the top corner is weird.
The guy, you mean?
Top right.
Yeah.
It looks like a
what?
draft, doesn't it?
No, it just looks like what? I don't remember. I don't know Metal Gear that well, to be fair, but is that person at a weird rave? Like,
Well, the cover looks cool, though.
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't like the cover? I like the way the cover
No, the
looks
cover's
like.
fine. It looks very much like the video games.
And then we mentioned earlier, Ticket to Ride. There was also another Ticket to Ride game that was announced from Days of Wonder, vaguely announced. They showed a Ticket to Ride. You can see this is a picture from the trailer as they show America slowly being uncovered. They announced designers Alan Moon, Rob Daviau, and Matt Leacock, which made everyone and their neighbor think it's a legacy game, especially with them revealing stuff. And
Right.
Rob Daviau is legacy or restoration at this point. That's what it seems.
Right.
Interesting that Matt Leacock's involved, though, because he's not the legacy guy. He's Pandemic legacy.
I said, well,
Right.
Rob Daviau did. He's the one that just did Stranger Things with CMON, right?
Yes, he did.
So he didn't. So he has done a couple other things.
Oh, he's done
Legacy,
a lot of stuff.
But no, but you were saying like
and
he's pretty
miniatures
much
game for
that.
CMON. No, yeah, that's true. But if he does a game for a company and it's something that's
Yeah.
already established,
to be fair, I very much think this is legacy as well. I was just making a counterpoint.
they did not say this yet, but I'm sure they'll introduce more.
It could
as
be a
time goes by.
restoration. It is only called Ticket to Ride. Maybe they're restoring Ticket to Ride.
It's not from Restoration Games. It's from Days of Wonder.
They don't have the right to be the only ones to restore things.
That's true. All right, and on that note, that's the news.
Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that play in 20 minutes or less, and lately I've been talking a bit about the cost of board games. It's quite easy for it to all add up before you know it, but that said, I think you can go out and get a really cheap game and then never play it, and then you have wasted money. And conversely, you can go out and get Everdell and all of its expansions, but then just play it a bunch. And clearly that was absolutely worth the money. So it's not as much the cost of the game necessarily, but getting good bang for your buck that really matters in the end. So I have a few games here that are both affordable, but also great bang for your buck because they are the type of games that you will want to play a bunch. First up, we have Quicks. I feel like Quicks has become a bit of a family staple at this point. It's one that a lot of people know about and really enjoy, and it's great. It's easy to find this one for under $10, and it's a very simple roll and write game in which you are rolling dice and getting to mark spots along 4 different lines of color that correspond with the dice, and you're trying to get the most points by the end of the game. And what's great about this is kids can play it, people who don't play a lot of board games can play it, but there's enough going on there that you have interesting decisions to make. So even if you play a lot of games, it's not like you're just sitting there playing a nothing dice game where you don't get to do anything. It's good. You have some good decisions to make. I also really like that there's something going on every turn for everybody. The 2 white dice that are rolled, everyone gets to choose if they want to use those each turn. So it's not one where people get bored when it isn't their turn. There's something going on. It keeps everybody engaged. And this is so small, portable, easy to throw in a bag and bring somewhere and be confident that people will play with you because it just has such a universal appeal. My main complaint about this is the paper scorecards that you just go through so quickly. but we laminated ours. Easy to do, and then you just can play as much as you like. Next up, we have Bandido, which is a lovely cooperative card game in which you are working together to try to stop Bandido from escaping from his jail cell. He's tunneling out, and you're playing out cards that are like the tunnels going on, and you're trying to have them all end in dead ends, which is trickier than you think, and there's a bit of an art to playing it out so that everything fits together right. It's kind of like a puzzle where you're uncovering the puzzle pieces and you don't exactly know what's coming, and so you're putting it out as you go and trying to work together to make it all closed off. And it's just so simple. There's basically no rules to explain, but there's a bit of strategy to it, and it's very fun to play, and you do not win every time. There's like a medium success rate, but it's so quick. Even if you lose, you can just, okay, well, Bandido got out that time. Let's set it up again and play again. If you like there to be a little bit more going on, there is Bandida, in which they added a few more rules, and there's different things you can do with the cards. I prefer the elegant simplicity of Bandido, but I know my older son really likes Bandida, so pick what works for you, but they're both about $15 or less, and there, again, it's super tiny. You can toss it in a bag and take it anywhere with you, which is awesome. And then finally, I have Ohanami, which means flower watching in Japanese, and it's this great little card game from Pandasaurus in which you are trying to score the most points with your Japanese gardens that you are creating. And it's a very simple in its premise, drafting game. Everybody has a hand of cards, and then you just pick 2 cards each time and pass the cards around. It kind of, to me, feels a little bit like Sushi Go, but elevated a bit, perhaps, with a little bit more going on, but that's the general feel of the type of gameplay. And you have to play your cards in 3 different rows, and the trick is the cards have to be in consecutive order. So you're playing in the top and the bottom of the piles, and if you have a card with a middle number, you can't stick it in the middle. And different colors of cards score each round. So there's a nice mix of strategy of what you're getting, how you're placing it down, where you get points now, but you aren't making it so you can't play cards in the future. There's a little bit of player interaction, especially at the end of a round, where you might be able to stick somebody with some cards they can't play. But it's pretty mellow, and so it seems like there's enough interaction that it matters what you're doing, but not enough that someone who doesn't like it when people do mean things to them are going to get really upset when playing this game. And it's just one of those ones that, again, it's about $15, and we have played this one so much. It's one that I have a ladies board game group that meets once a month, and I'm pretty sure if I brought this every month and we played this and a few other games, everyone would be really happy. It's one that we take on trips because it's a nice little card game, and we have hundreds of board games in our collection, and the 3 I listed today, we've definitely gotten amazing bang for our buck. We have played them a bunch, even with a bunch of other options, because they're the types that you reach for when you have a few minutes and need a good game, and so these are spot on for that. Great bang for your buck. Thank you so much for having me on today. You can check out my YouTube channel and website if you want to see more of my content. I really appreciate being on, and back to the folks in the studio.
All right, today is a wishful, not real top 10.
I forgot. Got
Top
excited.
3. It's what would be our professions if we could have any job in the world we wanted, money, things notwithstanding, and for me, I already have the job I want. But if this didn't exist, then I could magically morph into one of these jobs. This is what I would do. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe this would change. I don't know.
This was really hard. I probably had like 10. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, so it was hard that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then go first.
Go
What's
first?
your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is a wildlife biologist. So someone who works with wildlife and understanding the different species and their effects on the ecosystems, how they interact together, studying their behavioral patterns, things like that. So I think that would just be absolutely fascinating. I love that. Just the ecosystem, why it works, why some animals are on top and on bottom, and how you have to have those top predators, the apex predators, in order for the lower species to evolve and to really just survive at all. I find that absolutely fascinating in studying their behaviors and why they do certain things. So wildlife biologist, I think, would be so cool, so fascinating. And I love being in nature. I get to be outside.
Well, we got a crossover. No, we don't. No, come on. No. That is like not even in my top 1,000.
Oh, it'd be so fun.
I'm glad people are wildlife biologists. I just don't want to do it. My number 3 is pretty mundane, but I would want to own my own restaurant. I like food, and I like talking about food and making food, and I would like to have a cool restaurant, and I would try to buck the trends and do different things in my restaurant, because there's a lot of things restaurants do that annoy me. Like, I bring people to check us when they ask for it, and I don't know, but there's just a lot of things. Restaurants are all very samey. I like restaurants that do things differently. So
I don't think I'm following. Okay, huh?
Well, what I mean is, I would open I thought it'd be interesting to have a restaurant that was only appetizers. There's not many restaurants that do stuff like that.
Or like a soup restaurant. Or like a cereal restaurant.
No.
Oh, yes.
I want to be really clear that no.
Yes.
Or like a
So
comfort
good.
food restaurant where that's like the focal point of the restaurant. We don't try to be all high and mighty. We just make you really cool food. Anyway, this ain't going to happen. Unless Daystar fails, then I will start a restaurant. No, actually, I'll start a food review channel, which was my number 4. All right, Z.
All right, my
I
number
just didn't want to
3.
make everything about food.
My number 3 was one that allowed me to be outside, to travel, but where I don't have to touch animals. So my number 3 is travel photographer.
Oh.
I want to travel the
That's
world,
my number 4.
be paid to do that, and take photographs. I love taking photographs anyway. I used to, back in college or around that time, I would get black and white rolls of film and shoot those. And like, if I had my camera and I loaded a roll in there, I would have a really good time that week or whatever, kind of wherever I found myself that week, looking around with like kind of like a different eye, seeing like, what can I shoot and how can I shoot and how can I frame this right. So I love that kind of stuff. So being a photographer, and especially a travel photographer, would be a really fun gig. So that's it. That's my number 3.
In a callback, we checked with my photographer daughter about the iPhone at a wedding thing.
Oh.
And she said it all depends on her portfolio.
Okay.
Very
that
much.
makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see. That's like almost a crossover, because my number 4 was a like travel blogger or vlogger, one of those. Like where you go out and you're just paid to travel and report on places and find the cool little unique things to do, things like that. So.
Oh, I should have put secret shopper. Okay.
Because you
fun.
wouldn't stand out if you went shopping. That's a good call.
Well, they wouldn't know I was the secret shopper. They would think I was just an annoying tourist. I could be a tourist.
You can be an annoying
You
tourist
could,
for
yeah,
sure.
you definitely could rock that. Yeah. My number 2 is a professional organizer. I love organizing things so much. Don't scowl at me. Don't scowl at me. People need
I wasn't
people
scowling.
like
I was
me.
thinking of Monica from Friends, but
Oh my gosh,
that
it
what
makes
she
me so
did?
happy. Like to go into a messy closet and just see it, and it's just like, just like super stresses me out. And then to pull it all out and come up with a system and get it all in there and label, so that way if someone comes like, hey, I need a pair of tweezers, you're like, shelf 2, second one on the right, halfway back in the bin. Like, boom. I love that. That just like makes me
we can
so
make some
happy.
of this stream come alive.
I love it so much. Like if I can't sleep
Let's
at
go
night,
dump all those bins out over there.
I'm also really good at throwing things away, so you won't have like half that stuff
That
at the
doesn't
end.
bother me.
Okay, I was like, you should also know part of organizing is getting rid of crap you don't need. I'm very good. I can work a trash can. So my number 2, professional organizer.
My number 2. How about your quote for the day? I can work a trash can. My number 2 is museum guide. It would have to be something I'm interested in, obviously, but I think I could run like a little museum and just get people come in and I'd be like, let me explain to you what's going on here. I just would have fun doing that. I don't know. I've always been a little jealous of museum guides. I think that's an interesting job. If you're interesting.
You don't think that would be samey after a while, though, showing the same stuff? You should be a traveling museum guide.
I would want to be a museum guide of a museum that's so huge.
You don't see the
At
same
the Smithsonian.
I feel like also, don't they have, like, we'll say they have 10 bits of knowledge each tour they do, or so they share like 2 or 3 depending on the group. So I do think you rotate the knowledge enough and like your presentation.
That makes sense. I hope so, because that would get.
Because I've
That'd be my way.
I've done the same tour like 2 times. You know, like one, and then a year later I go back, and it's like, oh, it's a little bit different. So I do think they have like, they kind of cater it a little bit.
All right, my number 2, I'm going to go with psychologist. This is something I considered doing when I was in college, actually, getting a minor in psychology. I ended up not doing that, but or just switching my major. But yeah, psychologist or psychiatrist, whichever one. I was always have been fascinated by that branch of study. So that I think would be an interesting thing to pursue. It's a little less whimsical than some of the other things here. Like, oh, I want to like, I don't know, Marie Kondo things while I skydive. That's a little more like crazy, but you know, psychology is very interesting to me. So my number 2.
Very cool. My number 1, growing up, my dream job was always to be a mortician, but I found that in college, it wasn't actually being a mortician, it was being like a forensic.
Why was your dream job a mortician?
Just because the body is fascinating. The way it works, how it works,
You
how
be a
it
doctor
responds.
and also-
I don't want lawsuits and deal with live people. I want the dead ones.
It's full of quotes today, but go ahead.
So, but I found out in college that no, what I'm really fascinated in is forensic anthropology. And the way I found this out is because the University of Tennessee has a body farm. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Do you want to know about it?
I don't.
Okay, so they have this farm where they take the corpses and they put them through different things and study like the decomposition rates in different environments, or strip them down and expose them to different elements, and then study the bodies so that they can gather the forensic information from it
Where
to
are
solve
they getting
crimes.
these bodies?
No, that's not the point. Is they have bodies.
Donated,
Yeah, they're donated to
Yeah, but if you
science.
donate your body to science, I would assume that you're like, I'm hoping to help make the world a better place.
You are.
100%. Way more there than like
Absolutely.
sold for parts out the back of a van somewhere.
Right.
I don't think that when you donate your body to science, that's happening.
You don't know what happens.
No, but they end up taking it, like
That's like
giving
when
it
they
to.
take blood. I mean, you know that blood gets sold and resold and up. Like, they make a lot of money on your blood.
I do know that.
Yeah,
But I got free movie tickets out of it.
that's
That you
worth
do.
it.
That you do.
Enjoy your $1,000 movie ticket.
So yes, I love this idea of taking and just the anthropology behind, again, the human body, and just looking at bones and being able to say that's a male, this age, from this time period, from this age of the world, just by looking at a bone. And they died this way because you can see the stress marks and that kind of stuff. I just love being able to put the idea of being able to put that together. And it's fascinating. Anyway, check out The Body Farm. It's pretty cool. It's actually a really good book too.
All right, and a very wild whiplash to a very different type of thing for my number 1. Very few people in the world do this, but I always wanted to be a game show host. I would just like doing that. I think that'd be super fun.
Huh. Yeah.
I couldn't do Family Feud because I couldn't deal with the stupid people clapping after bad answers. That really bugs me. Although I did see one episode where Johnny Knoxville maced a guy on his team for giving a bad answer. That I approve of. But I like game shows. I like the excitement there. It's corny and cheesy, but I don't care. I would like it. I
Okay.
get to do game shows as a side gig at the Dice Tower anyway. We do
Yeah.
some anyway. I would like doing that all the time.
All right, I think for me, my number 1, I don't know. I have a few here. I think I'm going to go with voice actor. And again,
Eric
the
Summer, watch
limitation.
out!
I can see
We
that.
definitely talked about how like talent was not a factor here, so don't take that into account. We said, talent or location or wealth, like none of that mattered. We could pick whatever we wanted to. So voice actor,
What kind of voice actor?
the kind that uses their voice and doesn't have to dress up to go into work. That's honestly the main benefit of being a voice actor as opposed to an actor. I don't have to look pretty or like it doesn't matter what I look like. I don't have to do my hair
I'm sorry,
to go in.
would you do animation, video games, read books?
Reading books is kind of a different thing,
Yeah, I think so too.
but video games and animation really are the same.
Okay.
Another one that I almost mentioned was Foley artist. because I really just like that. I like sound and sound manipulation. Being a Foley artist is the one who makes the weird noises for stuff.
Oh.
Those are fascinating.
Yeah, so.
I saw like a documentary on it one time about how they take like random objects to make like a wah 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 sound,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
made
yeah.
out of like a toothpick or something.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
did
crazy.
some-
So cool.
I did a little bit of voiceover work for just stuff I had shot myself, and then I needed to go back in and do voiceover work. And the space that I was working in, they did Foley in there. So next to me was a pile of random crap, like a palm frond and like wooden cubes and a pair of shoes. And I'm like, this is so fascinating.
Yeah.
How there's a couple of people sitting in here at some point being like, we need to make a sound for that thing. Let's start shaking stuff and hitting stuff and scraping things. I love that stuff. So
That's really cool. That's really cool.
there we go.
Alrighty, those are our top 3. Let us know what yours are in the comments. Let's keep going. All right, we're taking a deeper look at the Spiel des Jahres nominees. So this, seems like each year I get a little better at having played them. Normally I have to go hunt them down. I've actually played all but 2 of them this year.
Even the kids' ones?
Yeah. So let's start with the kids'
Okay.
ones. We're going to take a look at the Kinderspiel. So this is an award for kids, and I think it's the best award of all 3 of them. It's the most consistent. Usually, if I see a game with a Kinderspiel award on it, I know it's a good game for kids. Now, there's some
interesting.
weirdness to the Spiel des Jahres awards. You have to realize some people are annoyed that, like, Heat wasn't nominated or even recommended, but Heat was published almost at the last second in Germany. It has to be published in Germany.
God, that makes sense. I mean,
I mention this because Gigamon is a reprint of a game that's, I think, like 8-10 years old.
Oh.
oh,
I played it back. It was called Gigamons with an S, I think.
oh, something similar. Okay.
Yeah. Let me quick pull this one up here. Gigamon. Yeah, Gigamons. I guess I reviewed it in 2016. I guess it's so 7 years ago. I gave it a 6.5. It's for kids. You're matching monsters, and it's like a mini memory match type game. Mysterium Kids. That's the kids' version of Mysterium. Did I say I played 6? I played 5. I mean, I didn't play I haven't played 3. Sorry, because I keep thinking I played Mysterium Kids. I have not. You played that one, right?
I didn't play it. I took it to play it, read the rules, and was like, no. I know Chris and Wendy didn't like it at all.
All right. Well, then that one's out. Although this is actually our time to pick our winners, and I'm picking Mysterium Kids to win, even though
I think so. I think.
Mysterium.
What do you know about Carla Carmel?
I know nothing about it. Loki games are often very, very simple. There's only 3 games with the word caramel in them.
Really? That's a missed opportunity.
I agree.
Caramel is fantastic.
And one of them is just another name for the gingerbread house, La Casa de Caramelo.
Huh.
Is Caramello a synonym for gingerbread?
Huh.
See, if there was a house of caramel, I'd be like, oh, I'd be dead.
Yes. Yeah,
The witch would eat
100%
me.
the witch would get me.
And Killer Bunnies in the Quest for the Magic Carrot Caramel Swirl Booster. Anyway,
Okay.
Carla Carmel is from Loki. Sarah Zarian is the designer. I don't know a lot about it.
Wow, there's like nothing
Kids are
there.
lined up at her ice cream stand. Yeah, but that's because kids' games get very short shrift on BGG. So,
I think if I had to pick
Okay.
who's going to win it, yeah, Mysterium Kids.
I think so.
all right, let's take a look at the Kennerspiel. Now, this Kennerspiel nominees are like whiplash because it is
really
considered like the Gamer Game Award. And Iki is a gamer's game.
Very much so.
There's a lot going on in it. I love it. I think it's a great game, but it's a gamer's game. Planet Unknown's definitely a step down from that. It's a tile-laying game with a rondelle thing in the middle. And then Challengers is a way step down from that. It's a deck-building game of sorts where you have your own little deck and you're basically playing war against somebody else. Challengers was very popular at Essen this year. I saw people playing that everywhere.
Yeah.
Which actually made me surprised when I came back to America and it was not as popular here. Maybe that's more of a thing over there.
Maybe.
Roy wants us to say he hates it. It's Roy's birthday, so Roy hates it on his birthday.
I didn't say that. I said I wanted you to say that I hate it, and you can make fun of me for that. Because I obviously have zero taste when it comes to Germany.
Yeah, but I also added in the birthday part. Happy birthday, Roy.
Happy birthday.
Challengers got nominated for a Kinder Spiel. Anyway,
Happy birthday.
here, picking the winner, I'm going to go with Challengers.
Me too.
Oh, I wonder.
Just because it was so popular there. And I think it's a game that a lot of people like because someone made the comparison between it and Quacks of Quedlinburg, and I really see that. Because in Quacks of Quedlinburg, you build a deck, you build a thing of, and then you pull them
Yeah.
out and you see how far you push your luck. Challengers, you build a deck
it's
card, then you play it and see what happens.
interesting.
There's not a huge difference between them.
Interesting. But Planet Unknown, who votes on these?
There's a small committee. I want to say it's like 15 or less people. They're all journalists, German journalists.
Interesting. Okay. Because Planet Unknown has had quite a bit of staying power, it feels like. It's still talked about. It's still brought out at conventions. It's still... So I don't know. I think that'd be a contender. I think, unfortunately, Iki is my favorite of the three, but I think Iki doesn't. It's kind of come and gone, unfortunately.
Well, it's also another one that came out 6 years ago or so, but it came out in Germany last year, so therefore it's eligible.
Did Quacks win the Spiel or the Kenner Spiel?
The Kenner.
Yeah, okay. Then I think Challengers.
It's a good slate. It's a good slate. It's just kind of all over the place.
It's a huge spectrum.
All right, now the biggest award goes to the Spiel. This is the one, and this one's always been... It's sometimes gotten a little more complex, but it's usually very, very, very light. Mm-hmm. And I call Dwarf Romantic as being on this. Dwarf Romantic is a cooperative tile-laying Carcassonne-style game that almost doesn't feel like a game. It's kind of like, oh, let's see what we can do. We place these tiles. Oh, look at our score. That score lets us play again with another piece. This is also my call for the winner, just because I think it's going to do well there. Fun facts is the party repos has pictures of the Yaras committee or something. They're always on the list. Fun facts is good. It's not nearly as good as the other ones. So Clover and Just One. Just One was the winner, I believe, a couple years ago, right?
Is that right?
Did Just One win?
I don't know if it won. I know it.
I don't know. I actually don't. I can't recall which ones. Which ones have been winning lately?
Well, they got a list of awards here. Golden Geek, American Table. Maybe it wasn't nominated for Spiel. Maybe it was just all in my head.
right there. Spiel
I thought it
winner,
was.
2019.
2019, yeah, okay. So yeah, one in 2019. And then in 2020 they came out with So Clover. There's some, the COVID happened. Anyhow, then there's Next Station London. Now this is Next Station London. Let me pull that one up.
I know Chris was saying that he really liked this one.
We also have a promo for it.
Oh, right.
Subtle plug.
That's right. I did play this one. I played all the big ones. I keep getting these games mixed up with their names. Next Station London is the game where you're drawing your subway line and then you pass it to the next person.
Okay.
And you're drawing. I really liked it. I gave it an 8. But, see, the thing for me is Next Station London is more of a gamer's game than Challengers is, for sure. But whatever. I think Next Station London isn't going to get it. I'm Dwarf Romantic all the way. Not that that's the one I would pick. I would pick
But you think that's where it's going?
I'd probably pick Fun Facts, but
Really?
well, out of those 3.
I didn't realize you liked Fun Facts that much.
Well, I like it, but it's out of those 3. But there's also recommended lists. Let me see if I can pull those up. Do they have a recommended list of other games here? So the recommended lists were Mantis. I haven't played that one. That's Not a Hat. Hitster. Acropolis. Acropolis is the one I'm really surprised did not make the list.
I'm really surprised.
Because if it had made the list, that would have been my vote for that one to win.
Right.
Kazuka, Sea Salt and Paper, and QE.
Wow.
Then they only had a couple extra for the Gamers Games, which was Council of Shadows and Mindbug. Mindbug was really surprising because that doesn't feel like
The Gamers
a
Games?
German game at all. Well, it's like a mini Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it's got some stuff going on for sure, but it seems like a very, I don't know, American style game. So I agree with that. Dwarf Romantic, I think, is the biggest shoe-in for all three categories. For me, I think this one's almost designed to win this award.
Yeah, almost. But I hear it's very similar to the app. So there's that.
Yeah, it's
Also-
very popular over there.
Some props for the shout out for the special award. I like when they hand out a special award.
Yeah.
And I like that they're giving one to the Unlock series
Unlock, yeah.
because that's just a great series. And the Unlocks Kids is amazing.
I did not I guess I didn't remember, I should say, that Unlock had a series based on other games. Have you played those?
No, that's the newest one. I don't think it's out yet
That's so cool.
in America. I'm pumped about that a lot. What is that? It's Ticket to
Ticket to
Ride.
Ride, Pandemic, and Mysterium.
Mysterium. Yeah.
Ooh, a crossover. Inception.
Oh.
That, by the way, based on that image, that lets me know that Mysterium Legacy is next.
Oh, you're right.
You heard it here first.
Alrighty, well there you go. That's our thoughts on the Spiel des Jahres. This is a big award. It actually causes hundreds of thousands of copies of games to be sold in Germany.
Yeah.
So you might not like it, but it matters. And that's it also for Board Game Smorgasbord.
And if it wins it, I don't know if Dwarf Romantic is in English already, is it?
Yeah, we got a copy of it.
Because it's like,
Ours
also,
was
if
in
a game
English.
is in German and it wins it, it's going to be in English, like, in
Right.
3 weeks, man. They jump on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's true. The winners will all be here, but that's the only one that's not already in America.
Okay.
It is interesting to see some American games going to Germany and they're popular here and then they move over.
Yeah.
You know, that's starting to happen more so than the other way around. Fish's Circle. The Circle of Spiel. That's it for Board Game Smorgasbord, folks. Thanks so much for watching. We got many other videos coming out today and tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Z Garcia.
Have fun going to Z as a psychologist.